Using facial recognition software to help identify dead Russian soldiers. Ukraine has made headlines with this idea. By identifying casualties of war, families can be informed and then claim the bodies. But does facial recognition really work in this context? Who are Clearview AI, the company offering the software, and what are the consequences of using facial recognition in a war? How does it work? Take a photo of a dead Russian soldier. Upload it to a facial recognition software. Get an ID match from a database, identify the deceased's family, then inform them of the death. According to Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, this is how authorities in Ukraine use facial recognition software. Russian relatives are supposedly contacted via social media. Using recognition technology this way is unheard of, and it seems very problematic to me. What's your view on that practice? The facial recognition software has been provided by US startup Clearview AI. The company offered its service free of charge to Ukraine right after the Russian invasion. Clearview claims that their search engine can access more than 2 billion images from vKontakte, a popular Russian social media service. Why does the Ukraine do it? As a courtesy to the mothers of those soldiers, we are disseminating this information over social media to at least let families know that they've lost their sons and to then enable them to come to collect their bodies. Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, who is also head of the Digital Transformation Ministry, said in an interview. But there might be another motive as well. Ukraine is also trying to reach Russian citizens who have very limited access to free media. So it's also a way of informing the Russian people about what is really going on in Ukraine. In Russia, the war is labeled a special military operation. People who say otherwise face severe punishment and jail time. How reliable is the technology? Facial recognition software often isn't very reliable. In the past, there have been problems with identifying people of color correctly, to name just one example. Facial recognition uses biometrics to map features of a face. The software then compares that to a database in order to find a match. When it comes to identifying dead bodies, scientists argue that clouded eyes and injured and expressionless faces can render facial recognition useless. And just imagine a dead Russian soldier isn't identified correctly. Authorities in the Ukraine would falsely inform a Russian family that their loved family member has died. This would cause even more unnecessary suffering. Besides that, there are a couple of concerns when it comes to Clearview AI. The company is currently facing charges in a number of countries around the world. Data security experts criticize that Clearview doesn't make it transparent how it gathers its data. They say the company has built its database by taking images from social media platforms and other sources without getting users' consent beforehand. In Italy, for example, authorities have filed a lawsuit against Clearview, demanding that all collected data on Italian citizens will be erased. Clearview continuously claims they are only using legal methods, but in the eyes of many experts, has failed to verify that claim so far. Offering their software to help Ukraine is, in my opinion, also a subtle way to try and better their image. Given that information, using Clearview's facial recognition software in a war zone doesn't sound like a good idea. And even less so if you think of other possible uses. Searching for enemies at checkpoints, for example, or even targeted killings. So far, Clearview doesn't have safeguards in place to prevent malpractice, and their track record regarding transparency makes it hard to believe that this very sensitive data from battlefields is in safe hands. The use of facial recognition in a war can have very serious consequences. In my opinion, we need a general and global understanding on what practices are acceptable, especially in a war context. But it seems too late for that now. What's your opinion on this? Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye-bye.